I'm Brian Van from SportBikeTrackGear.com. I'm here today with a good friend of mine, David Gray.
Thanks, Brian, for having me.
Sport Bike Tire Service. They are the East Coast, one of the East Coast Michelin race tire distributors, right? Dave's been riding motorcycles forever. He's super fast, got millions of laps on racetrack, probably more than anybody you or I know, because he is forever riding with Sport Bike Track Time. You're doing that Ducati thing, working with Ducati and helping the dealer days, all this stuff, plus racing. Almost won the Horizon Award one year, the AMA deal. Great rider, lots of knowledge. What we're going to talk about today is the performance tire lineup from Michelin. Okay, we're going to group some stuff into this that the other retailers aren't and can't, because we have the ability now to offer the race product. Okay, we're going to talk about the Power 3, the Power Super Sport. Now we get to the race stuff, the Power Cup and the Power Slick. For track days, a lot of people have this misconception, right?
Yeah.
I'll just buy the slicks, man. I'm a novice rider, but they have more grip. They use them in MotoGP.
It's the best tire. It's got the most grip.
I won't crash if I have those.
It's got to be the best tire for me, right?
Yeah, I won't crash if I have those.
Totally not the case. Not that you won't, not that you're going to crash or not crash, but it's not the right tire necessarily for you. If you're a first-time novice rider, a novice rider that comes actively throughout the course of a whole season, then this end of the table, it's not the right tires for you. This is not what you want. You're on this end of the table. So it's real important to us that we make sure that your customers get the appropriate tire for them, that they're using the correct tire that fits their application and their needs.
Makes your day better, makes your ride way better if you're on the right stuff. Let's start with novice riders. Like Dave said, you've got two choices, and this is going to be simple to delineate between these two, right?
It is.
Power 3, very capable tire, right? 70% street use, 30% track use. Simple. So you're the guy, you riding your bike on the street, you really enjoy that, right? You do want to do a couple of track days each season.
But you don't want to switch tires.
Right, because that's a pain in the butt and it's expensive.
Yeah.
Here's your tire right here, okay? Now, let's say that, you're getting a little quicker, you're moving up through that novice rank, because like with Sport Bike Track Time, we've got multiple groups, and they go from like 1 to 8 sometimes.
Sometimes internally in the novice group they do, yeah.
And they're rolling, like the guys in the group, fast group 1 and 2, they're usually moving pretty fast.
If not as fast as the intermediate guys usually.
Because you have an instructor in front of you, get a comfortable pace, right? Look more towards this super sport, more performance, about 30% street, 70% track.
Yep.
Tire pressures, we're going to talk cold for both, right?
Yep. Because
we've decided Michelin's decided that's the right way to do it because it's repeatable. What do you recommend on the front on the Power 3?
The front on the Power 3 is 30 PSI.
And the rear?
It's 28 PSI.
These are track pressures, not street pressures. Remember that, right? For street pressures, Michelin recommends to follow the manufacturer, your motorcycle manufacturer's recommendations, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Power Super Sport, this is going to be interesting. Cold pressures on this one, racetrack only.
This is a bit different than the Power 3 is, and the reason is because the rear tire is different. It's made a little differently. It's different for a different application. Front tire is going to be 30 PSI, and this is the big difference right here, is the rear is 22 PSI.
That's a big difference.
That's
low PSI tire technology that they gleaned from the race product.
Yep, and like you said, this tire lineup that we're showing you here, it's a progression. It allows you to go from one stage to the next to get to that tire that's the best tire.
Which is pretty sweet. You can have a great street tire that performs well on the racetrack. And don't misunderstand, I think this Power 3 is no good on the racetrack. We've got instructors, STT has instructors, they're out there rolling on these things.
They are rolling on them.
And they last.
Right. And then, one of the bigger keys, or one of the more important things to point out about these tires on this end, is if you're a novice rider or you're an intermediate rider, you're probably just getting into this. It's something that you're finding a passion for, you want to do, but you don't want to throw a bunch of money at it yet. Maybe you're not ready to buy tire warmers. Well, this tire right here, both of these tires right here, they don't require tire warmers. Matter of fact, if you use tire warmers, you have to specifically use them in a special way. These tires are designed to work at 150 degrees, which means that if you put a tire warmer on there, like most of the single stages are that are 170, 180 degrees,
use them, no way.
You go from waiting for a lap and a half for these things to warm up to waiting for them to cool down to 100.
So they're not greasy anymore.
So that they're not greasy and feel all weird on you. So it's the same deal if you have them or you don't. Now, if you want to use tire warmers, you could use a digital set of warmers or a set of triple pole position ones or what have you, and put them at 150 degrees and go out there and they're ready to go. And then they're ready to go.
Ready to go. And you know what? And like if I'm riding the super sports or something, say, I wouldn't mind putting warmers on those, because then you go out your first lap, you can do it. You can just be confident you're not going to have a cold tire crash.
Correct. Well, and also on these two particular brands, these tires are designed to be used through the duration of however long they wear out. So tire warmers aren't necessarily going to make them last any longer either.
It'll just reduce the possibility of that cold tire slide and crash.
Correct.
Most important tool in your toolbox.
Tire
if you ride on a racetrack, buy a good one. Buy a Motion Pro. That's the stuff that we recommend. We both use.
And if it's the only tool that you bring to the racetrack with you, that's the one to bring. If you have a choice of one tool to not forget, that's it.
Because you have to get these pressures set. And remember, first thing in the morning before you go out on track, right? 30 PSI front on the Power 3, 28 on the rear. Power Super Sport, 30 PSI front, 22 rear before you turn a wheel on that track. Because the minute you get them out there, then you're chasing it all day trying to figure out where you're at. Because hot tire pressures, they fluctuate more. It's just a different deal. Intermediate riders, right? Made it through the novice ranks, right? We're progressing. We're going a little faster. Power 3? We're gonna drop that one off.
Yeah, you're pretty much graduated from that tire all the way into the Super Sport already when you get to that point.
Exactly. So for intermediate riders, let's drop that one off and let's look here first and then progress here to the Power Cup DOT. You gotta have tire warmers for anything on the right side of the table, so understand that. That could be the qualifier for the intermediate guy. I don't want to buy warmers yet.
Yep.
Go over here. You can go really fast on that tire. How fast can you go on that tire?
Well, this tire, when we were testing the limits of it, we were going through the stages and figuring out how it works and what pressures to use and how to use them with the tire warmers. We were pretty fast at Grattan. We went and did a 22 down there with it.
That's fast. We're not telling you that you want to go out and push that tire that hard, because remember, that's a really experienced rider with a really well set up bike that understands what the bike feels like. And I'm guessing it was moving around a little bit.
It was moving around a whole heck of a lot. And really the only reason we did it is because we're trying to get and learn all the aspects of the entire tire, how it works, what its limits are, what they feel like when you start pushing them at the limits, so that when we get questions, we have answers.
And that's important. As we're moving through that intermediate group and you're starting to get faster, or even say when you just get into the intermediate group, if you're gonna go ahead and jump on tire warmers, right, you're okay making that investment, go ahead, go right to this one if you want to.
Absolutely.
Because you have to have the warmers. Tire pressures on this one, simple again, right? 30 front cold, 22 rear cold. We've got some compound choices here.
We do.
Look for that other video on just the Power Cup. We're going to break that down for you. It's just temperature dependent. It's really simple stuff, right? So intermediate guys, here and here, right? Let the choice between these two, it's going to have more to do with tire warmers than anything else, realistically.
It
right?
is.
This tire is faster than that tire. More comfortably faster for sure.
More confidence inspiring for sure.
Yeah, which is important because confidence is everything to ride in these bikes.
And again, with the progression of the stages of these tires, this tire to this tire might be what you need in order to achieve your goals, and that's the advanced group usually.
Yeah,
to get to the next step.
And this one might hold you back a little bit.
Could be.
And this one could be the key that just unlocks that door. You go out and you get all that confidence, that V front, like we talked about in that video, all that side grip. That could be the key. It just unlocks the door, and next thing you know, you just shaved 2 seconds by putting these tires on, which is sweet. Advanced guys have the most choices, right? Because we're 3 options: Super Sport, Cup, or the Slick. That's where I'm at, man.
And when you get into these DOT competition and slicks, now you get into compound choices and profile choices as well. So there's quite a few choices, but it's not very difficult. It's pretty simple at the same time.
Compound choices are temperature dependent. Size choices for the rear, it's going to be about how wide your rim is. We break all that down to a separate video for the Cup, a separate video for the Slick. Watch those. So for an advanced guy, okay, let's say that, you're a quick advanced guy, you're not the fastest guy, you're not racing, and, you want to manage your tire budget well, and you really don't feel like buying warmers. go there.
Super Sport's a perfect tire for it still.
Perfect tire, you know. And then the cool thing is too, as you progress in advance, you could go from this to this, and all of a sudden, oh geez, well I just dropped a bunch of time,
Right.
you know. And understand speed difference between this and the slick. Nah, not really anything, you know. The bike's set up right, not really any time difference. In my opinion, the difference between these two, am I going to ride when it's wet? Am I not going to ride when it's wet? I don't ride when it's wet. I always ride slicks. He'll ride when it's wet. He always rides DOTs. One advantage to the slicks is I think you can get a little more time on them. A little more, because you don't have, you know, the rain siping, right? And that does help the tires wear a little faster. And you can, if you want, with the slicks, you can flip them, right? Which is nice. So if you burn up the right side a little bit, you can turn the tire over, put the left on what is now the right, and get some more time out of it. So use that as a guide to help you choose. As an advanced guy, faster guy, what am I going to do here between these two? Any other questions, any other comments, leave them on our YouTube channel. If I don't have the answer, I'll get a hold of Dave. I'll get the answer. I'll put it up there for you because we want to make sure the information's good. These two tires, like I said, look towards those specific videos. A lot more information there because the compound choices. These two, it's one compound. Just pick the right size for your bike. Follow our tire pressure guidelines, and you're good to go. You have anything to add?
That's it.
I think we've done a pretty good job here. I really appreciate you coming out, dude.
Thanks again, Brian. I really appreciate being able to help your customers make sure they're on the right tires.
This is information you don't get from a catalog. You know, you're not going to call, well, certainly not any of my competition and get this information because they just don't put the time into it that we have, and they don't have the resource that we do here in Dave. So there you have it. Michelin Sport Bike tires broken down for you.